Hi everyone, I'm Santiago Ornedo from 380 Around Marketing. First of all, we want to thank Sports Tech Nation and Colosseum for the opportunity to participate in this 2021 event and to present Cognia, a revolution for tactical analysis in football. To explain what Cognia is and how it was born, we have with us Mauricio Lopez Felipe, the CEO of Cognia and the creator of this project. Hi, Mauricio. It's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Hi, Santiago. Thank you very much for the welcoming, and thanks to Sports Tech Nation for inviting us in this wonderful event.
Good. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your professional experience and career.
Well, as you said, I'm a co-founder and CEO of Cognia Sports Intelligence. This is a tech sports startup based out of Barcelona that focuses on tactical analysis in football. You asked me about myself and my professional career, and I couldn't explain any of those without explaining my relationship with football as a common denominator that has driven both my personal growth and professional development. So since a very young age, football it's been basically my passion, and there is a specific year that I remember that I have stored in my memory, which I started having self-consciousness about this passion of the game, right? And that was back in 1992. That year, two amazing celebrations took place for us here in Barcelona. First, in May 1992, FC Barcelona won the first Champions League of its history, and this had a huge impact on young kids like me, right, at the age of 5 years old. I was at that time. And then a second event that I have it also very well stored in my memory. It was the Olympic Games in Barcelona, again 1992. So that fact marked my love for football because the national team, the Spanish national team under 23, won the gold medal with players that nowadays most of them are coaches like Luis Enrique, Pep Guardiola, Abelardo, others like Amavisca, Kiko Narvaez, players that uh, were a very good generation, and they won that trophy that for me, a 5-year-old kid, that was like the beginning of everything, right? The beginning of a life turning around football. And I'm not gonna lie here, my main goal from there was to become a professional player with these examples I had out there, right? And look, I was close enough. I mean, I made it to the Catalan national team under 16 and under 17. I got to play together with players like Cesc Fabregas or Gerard Piqué, and so many others that are now playing professionally. But I didn't make it, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. But these experiences are those type of experiences that one never forgets. And look, I learned a lot from it, and I met good friends and a good network of people involved in football from many different angles. And it was exactly that allowed me, when transitioning from being a football player to take other potential path, these type of people that I met while playing football helped me a lot to understand where my next steps had to be oriented, right? And I was so fortunate enough that one of those people was Joan Vila, a very savvy person involved in the development of methodological proposals for coaching players, and a person who at that time was offering a consultancy service to professional players to improve their tactical performance. And I was one of the um, persons that what was doing for Joan. It was basically analyzing videos of professional players. Like I remember the case of Carles Puyol back in 2008 in the European Cup. My job there was basically to cut videos with particular moments, specific aspects of the game, tactical aspects of the game, to help that player improve in certain areas or recognize, have self-awareness of particular behaviors. So, for example, I remember the case of the defensive triangle when the ball is in the lateral side of the field, and a defender needs to pay attention on the goal, the attacking player, and the ball. And the positioning of body relative to these three aspects is key, right? So, and with that, I learned a lot of tactical aspects of the game. So Joan had like a library of around 230 tactics that nowadays are all included in Cognia's software, right? And it was working in this, right? So generating analysis of video, so doing video analysis. When I realized that it was time consuming having to generate tactical content manually and focus on a very detailed level of analysis by virtue of either watching videos or going backwards into the same video and focus on very detailed aspects that I had to review for that players. So that was a tough process and very time consuming. And well, a young guy willing to speed up every single process to move ahead and get things done. Um, Obviously, the first thing I thought it was, man, there must be a way to first automatize this process, and second, if we make it automatic, come on, we can scale up this and make it a business model that rather than just advising one professional player, we could advise here many different players, even clubs, to better monitor tactical performance. And this is what actually motivated me to start exploring how to make it happen, right? So how to first understand the current technology that was available in the market in those moments, and then how to merge with that available technology the semantics of the game that I've been exposed to and that I knew from the game, right? And that's what made me search for answers to these type of questions, right? What's the available technology? What do they allow you to do? What can you get with this type of data that this technology does? But then what other type of data exists? And then how you can model and generate insights out of that data, right? So, and how you constrain this modeling based on semantics of the game that you already have somehow in a library. And this is what drove me towards my next step in my career. After finishing my bachelor's degree in sports science in Barcelona, I had the opportunity to go to the US. I spent a couple of years in Illinois doing a Master of Science in Motor Control. And then I spent 5 years at the University of Connecticut taking a PhD in ecological physics, or basically what it's um, akin to mathematical modeling in human behavior, and in my case applied to football, soccer, right? And there I started combining football knowledge with advanced mathematical modeling for human behaviors, and learning not only the possibilities with the approach I was taking, but also understanding and finding the limitations within the industry. And this is how I started developing the technology that today supports Cognia.
You have a lot of experience as a football player, also as helping other players. How come a person like you finishes with Cognia or starts with a project like Cognia? What can you please tell us what is Cognia in a few bullet points, please?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, at the end of the day, what I was pursuing it was to develop a software that was oriented towards the tactical analysis of football, of the game, and not only that, to make it in an automatic way. And this is what I think, based on that experience and all this journey that I took to make this happen, this is where I think that it adds value, right, in the current industry, because what we have developed in a way is a systematic way to detect principles of the game, a kind of a method that comes to revolutionize the world of football analysis in a more objective, faster, and more cost efficient way. And so far, there are two obvious limitations that are apparent in the industry. One, it's the case of the amount of time it takes someone to analyze a game. That's something commonly known. And then, second limitation to me, it's the case that one person can only analyze one single level of analysis simultaneously. And while our software provides depth and breadth in the sense that it can analyze multiple levels of analysis, individual level, so for every single player, line level for defensive midfielders or attacking line, or even for collective team level, um, and we can not only do that simultaneously, we can also analyze different games at the same time. So having a technology that allows or that overcomes this, it's basically the key for overcoming these type of challenges, a scale up the type of solution that we propose, which is tactical analysis, and at the same time, for any institution, any football club, league that can apply this type of systematic way to detect patterns of the game, it helps us to gain more objectivity, reliability, validity of what it's being detected. And here, for clubs and other football institutions, it is amazing the range of myriad possibilities that arise from them in terms of monitoring tactics, embedding a methodology of the game through our software, right? So, in a sense, what Cognia does is to quantify all those aspects that so far had been considered um, too qualitative, that were not possible to quantify. Things like, I don't know, a reception between lines, a movement of the striker behind the defensive line, things that were only appreciative, but by the eyes of the expert, of the coach. And now we capture those at Cognia. And here is where, well, not only Cognia's value proposition relies on the efficiency and the systematicity of the software, here Cognia also has a strong potential on the pedagogical aspects of tactical behaviors. The fact that we have created a system that not only detects the patterns, but it also automatically draws the concept, the opportunities for action in relevant contextual environments, it makes the tool so powerful. Again, not only for efficiency, but also for development of the young players that are coming ahead, right? So, again, this is Cognia, and I think I summarized the main points here.
Amazing, amazing, Mauricio. Sounds very, very interesting. We know that nowadays there are a lot of technology that they are applying in the football industry, but can you please tell us what are the main differences between Cognia and other video analysis solutions in football?
Hmm. Well, so yeah, there are at least a couple of differences and things that make us stand out from current video analysis solutions. First, that it comes, Cognia, it's here to serve and deliver a new domain of information. So Cognia comes and opens the door for delivering information and data related to the tactical situations of the game. Unlike the industry that traditionally has been orienting the use of information and data to better understand match running performance, that is the number of kilometers a player has run, average speed, accelerations, heat maps of the zones that have been more covered, or even technical tendencies of a team or a player, right? So the expected goal or value of a player getting the ball here and scoring a goal or stuff like that. What we do is opening a new door, a new domain of information of relevant things that matter to coaches. And this, I think, it's the first difference that we provide to this ecosystem. And second is that we come with a very robust solution, technological solution, that can adapt to other existing technologies, or we can serve clients in an autonomous way, covering the process from A to Z without relying on other providers. And I think this is also a very particular aspect of Cognia that can help someone to understand the potential of scaling up the business in different segments of the market.
Mhm. Understood. I can imagine that your target market or objective target are the football clubs, but can you please tell us what is your target market for these first years, or what benefits can generate for these type of customers?
Yeah, sure, sure. I mean, look, our target market is clearly professional football clubs, associations, leagues, and any institution at large that runs professional activities in football. These are our target users, target market, call it as you wish. Um, so basically, professional segment. But it's true that other segments of the market will come naturally. Although right now we are very centered around those professional segments. And look, the benefits are large. I mean, you do not only save time with Cognia, you also get a tool that allows the whole club to embed their own methodology. So tracking and monitoring tactical performance for a club can be very beneficial, and not only for a club, FAs and leagues per se. Monitoring tactical behavior of players, it can be crucial even for teams. Even you can apply those tactics as a consequence uh, of a coach making changes and working on the team. So there's different levels of information one can get and that can leverage, and therefore the potential is huge in this sense.
Mhm. Okay, good. I can imagine that also you can maybe apply this software also to youth categories in the football teams, or maybe in other sports.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, actually, when I was saying that Cognia has a very robust technology, it's precisely because of that. Because what we have focused on is on developing a technological platform that supports not only delivering information, tactical information for the first team of a professional club, but also for teams in the youth teams. Also for clubs that have devotion for improvement in the youth teams, and therefore our software works exactly in the same way for under 16, under 17, for female teams, for any age level or group level that you can imagine. Therefore, yes, I mean we can focus and we will be able to focus in different segments in the market, as well as other sports. I mean, here the only aspect that it's relevant for us, it's when this is going to be crucial for us and obvious, and when this will come naturally for us to jump into other sports, and then whenever it's the right timing, we will have to make the decision, right? How to go about it. But for now, we are very focused, as I was saying, on professional football. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Can you please, Mauricio, because it's going to be super and very interesting for the audience, can you please tell us about any use case of the Cognia software implementation, and what benefits have been obtained, please?
Yeah, sure. Let me actually, to do that, let me share my screen. I'm gonna show you a use case that one of the coaches that is using Cognia did. So this is a game that was played, I think, this last season between Al Sadd and Al Arabi. Al Sadd, it was the first team that Xavi Hernandez coach as as he was initiating his career as a coach. And look, in this case, in this example, what we're going to do is basically show you three uh, goal kicks scenarios. So three different examples of how the opponent team, when doing opponent analysis, organize and build up around the goal kick. So any user using the software, in that case for this match, that would have made a selection of different circumstances like goal kicks of the opponent team and particular tactical concepts that are going to be displayed. So after these type of selections, the type of output that one can generate is that one, right? So here what we have is basically a moment in which the goalkeeper puts the ball in play after a goal kick. There is one of the concepts that we offer to teams, which is the balance of the team that is not in possession of the ball, in this case, Al-Sad. And here we can see the spread of that team. After reception of the ball from the center back, we already see how the software already shows you the width that these two fullbacks are providing to the center back to receive the ball. And based on this first line of pressure that Al-Sad is offering, right, we already see how the center back offers the option to overcome this first line of pressure with a vertical overcoming pass, as we call it, by virtue of having a player that it's generating a space of reception, okay, that it will be quickly diminished by our fullback. So this type of way of building the game, it's a way in which the opponent team did it in this case. And here we see that we already, in the case that we were Al-Sad video analyst, obviously, so we already recovered the ball somehow, and we maintain stability of the ball in that moment in time. Okay, so that was one example. If we go to the second example, we kind of find a similar pattern, right? The goal kick, the keeper serves the goal kick by playing on the right center back. We have the behavior of the whole team, of the opponent team, but the balance of the team, and we see the high pressure of that team. Already when the center back receives the ball, we already see the width that are providing the winger or the two fullbacks. And again, here we already see how the trace of this player looking for a space, looking to help that center back after this first line of pressure. And again, he overcomes this first line of pressure with a vertical overcoming pass. By virtue of having this player generating some space for himself to receive in an appropriate way. If you notice here, now the midfielder already comes to support and help the fullback, because in this case he's coming to receive more or closer to the actual possessor of the ball, right? So in any case, we see that our pressure diminishes a lot the space in which this player can receive the ball, but we already see that there is another player helping him, giving an emergency support due to the high pressure that this guy is receiving to play and maintain possession of the ball. And look, in this case, we had to pay attention because the play for them was clearly to attack potential spaces that this lowering down the position of the winger created and generated between the center backs. And this is the third case, or the third goal kick that they served in that particular filtering that we did through the game. Again, what we have is another time they use the center back. As soon as they use the center back, you will see the behavior of the fullbacks, how they will try to wide open and make bigger the space or the opportunities of having different passing lines. You can see how the pressure of Al-Sad continues being quite high. Okay, so again, we see the width of the team provided by the others. But here you notice one difference, which is that now the midfielder of Al-Sad already, okay, knows what is going to happen. Therefore, he's positioning in between this guy and that guy. So therefore, he's covering the short or the plain pass and preventing an overcoming vertical pass to happen. And obviously now, since he's not finding a way and he has not been able to generate that potential space, what we see is that the ball went out. It was like a clearance, and Al-Sad quickly recovered the ball. Then here, obviously, based on the fundamentals that each coach can choose from the platform, different overlays will appear on the video, and each of these overlays represent a particular tactical fundamental that we have, and all these fundamentals can be filtered and you can search in a very targeted way through the platform very specific fundamentals like moving behind the defensive line or coming to receive the ball in between lines, and you can make all this search. Obviously here I put a practical example of how usually video analysts go for specific moments of the game, like, okay, how the opponent goes and builds up the game from a goal kick, right? But nowadays you have to guess and do your best interpreting the game through your eyes. Obviously, I'm sure that by the years, video analysts improve and they do their best with their judgments. But having this type of guidance based on concepts that you can select and tell the software to show you and illuminate for you, this can be very helpful, especially if these concepts align very much with what the coach is looking for, right? Which is the job that video analysts need to do in advance, and even coaches. So this was a particular example of Cognia, and hopefully this has been tangible enough for you and the rest of the audience to understand the value proposition of Cognia. Just to make sure that everyone understands what Cognia does, all these drawings that you have seen in the video, Sandy, are automatically generated by virtue of either generating our own video or having video from third parties. We do generate those overlays in an automatic way, and those get stored in our software as particular tactics that have a particular nature, either in offense, in defense, etc. And then through the user interface, through the web app, any person can look for those specific aspects, whether they are attached to a particular player, right? Assigned to a particular player, to a particular team, to a particular moment, like the goal kick example that we saw, etc., etc.
Thanks a lot, Mauricio. It was very interesting to see how the software of Cognia works, and it was such a nice example to touch a little bit of the software of Cognia. You have been talking about Xavi. What role does Xavi play in Cognia?
Well, I mean, Xavi has a very relevant role for us. Actually, Xavi is the maximum exponent of a product like ours. He was a player that himself, it was not the strongest one nor the fastest, but he was a player that it had such a good understanding of the game that always was positioning himself in the best place and passing the ball in the right moment, in the right place, with the right amount of force to satisfy the environmental demands, right? So he has been, since the very beginning, very supportive in this initiative to help football in general. I mean, not only us as a company, but he thinks that Cognia can help football at large, to different group ages, to different professionals. And basically the goal is to help the football industry to learn more about the game, to better analyze aspects that are really relevant, no, for the game. So, for example, he was always very bothered as a player when at the end of the match he got a report saying, "Hey, you have run today 8 kilometers and you had a success of 80% of your passes." And he was like, "Well, yeah, but did someone try to understand if these passes were made in the with the intention of overcoming these players, or with the intention of generating that space, and therefore we had to look for that semantic type of action?" No. So this was just counting numbers of actions, and that's it. And when he saw Cognia for the very first time, he realized that that was the way to go about analysis of the game. And obviously for us, it's been a pleasure, no, to have his involvement, especially now in these last 2 years, where Xavi has been transitioning from being a player to becoming a coach of Alsat. And for example, we've been able to develop our technology with a lot of feedback from him, from his technical staff, and being able to develop different aspects, not only from the game but also technologically speaking. And it's been, yeah, a great pleasure for us, obviously.
Amazing. Great, great. Thanks a lot. Mm, as we were talking about Xavi, I understand he has, for sure, a lot of experience as a football player. He was, I think, the best midfielder in the world at all time. But he has a few years as a coach and nowadays as Football Club Barcelona manager. But what do you think, Maurici? What about the other managers or other coaches with much more experience on the bench? Do you think it's common in other managers to use technology applied in football?
Oh yeah, I mean, technology is all over the place, and coaches, for sure, they understand the value that technology can provide. But what I would like to say here is that most of the coaches, I'm sure that would think like Xavi, that the technology that can help them the most is a technology that it's not physically oriented, right? So in terms of physical conditioning aspects, kilometers that the player runs, or stuff like that, but more oriented towards understanding the game. And here I remember, now that you say that, I remember a quote from, I think, Jose Mourinho in an interview at Being Sports, um, where someone was asking him, um, about the match running performance of a particular player, and he was like, look, I don't care too much whether a player runs 4.5 kilometers or 5.2 kilometers, as long as he applies the principles, the tactical principles of the game that we've been working, then who cares about how many kilometers a player runs? What I want to know and understand is the principles. What I want and I need is a person that generates this content. Well, so that's specifically uh, touching upon what Cognia does, right? So generating this type of information and knowledge oriented towards the tactical aspects of the game. And in the same lines, sure that there's many other coaches. For example, I mean, Pep Guardiola, for sure, he says, look, there's a bunch of technologies out there, a bunch of data, but I only take a look at a couple of aspects of the game, which is understanding um, how my team plays and how we can better attack those potential limitations from the opponent, right? So he again is focusing the analysis of the game and his reading of the game into the tactical aspects, right? In the understanding of the game, and this is crucial and one of the things that Cognia does. And indeed, not as experienced as these two other coaches. I mean, there's many other coaches that I've read talking about tactical aspects and about the need to orient technology towards that. But another interesting coach that it's kind of aligned with what Cognia does. It's Julian Nagelsmann, right? In one of the recent interviews before he was hired by Bayern Munchen, I heard that he was talking about the need of having new technologies, emerging technologies that somehow could cover and analyze the tactical aspects of the game. I mean, he was explicit in that. And well, I'm sure that Cognia can help a lot in that to coaches like Nagelsmann or even Mourinho, Simeone, Guardiola, and the likes. So for sure.
Great, great, Mauricio. Very clear. Well, finalizing this very interesting interview, Maurici, we want to thank again Sports Tech Nation, an event that gathers the latest trends and disruptive technology in sport tech environments. In general, Maurici, what features or characteristics do you think will be the latest trends in technology in sport tech in the near future?
Yeah, good. Thanks for the question. I think Look, I think it has a lot to do in the kind of segment within the tech sports industry. So, in my case, as far as performance analysis at large concerns, I think that those features that will impinge the most in the industry of sports tech will be related to translating numerical outputs into meaningful information. I mean, here, what is key is not that the design of a tool or the user experience of a software allows you to do, I don't know, X and Y behaviors or have a more colorful presentation. That is, in my very humble opinion, something anyone can get with time, effort, and money. But where it will make a real difference um, is the ability to get the functional information for practitioners that goes beyond understanding numerical relationships of the players. I mean, those who can find this innovation in specific use cases. It could be not only in tactical analysis, like in our case, it could be in the biomechanical aspects of a player when kicking the ball or recovery from injuries or whatever, right? But these ones that find the innovation in those specific use cases of translating numerical outputs in meaningful information of the functional actions that they are taking in their performance environment. I think these will be the ones disrupting the sports tech industry for sure, for sure.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Maurici. It has been a very, very interesting interview. Thanks a lot for your time. And also, we want to thank again Colosseum and Sports Tech Nation for being part in this event. Has been a pleasure, Maurici, and hope to see you soon. And take care. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Pleasure. It's been mine. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye.